reports. Chief Brady.
All right, we've had a pretty busy April so far. Of course, the month I'll be reporting on will be March, except for a couple that I wanted to bring to your attention that we've actually done this month. The monthly reports there, you can see, I'll just go over some of the highlights here. Accidents worked, the month of March was 30, year-to-date 75. Last year-to-date was 92. We've had 0 fatalities so far this year compared to last year at 1. Citations issued in the month of March was 206. Warnings issued was 405. Year-to-date is 856 citations. Last year it was 512 citations. Warnings was 1488 and year-to-date this year and 1113 last year. We had 1,738 calls for service in the month of March. Year-to-date, 5526. Last year, same time, 5339. Next page, in the school resource officers report, they had 11 counseling sessions with students, 10 with parents and adults, 10 with faculty and staff. They had 40 classroom lectures, and they conducted 10 home visits. The next is the Criminal Investigation Division. We've had, for the total, and there's a couple of pages down, the total offenses for the month of March was 34 worked. There's 29 of them that's been closed. Year-to-date was 112 worked, 129 closed. There was one, if you go to motor vehicle theft, it's on the middle, just about the third down on the second page. Looks like we had, last year for the same date, we had 3 of them closed. This year we've had 9. We've closed all 9 of them, so that's good, but not for sure why the increase. That's triple the amount we had last year at this time. That was the only thing that kind of caught my attention there. We'll go to the narcotics offenses, which some of these involve the arrest that I spoke to you last month about, and some of them are not on here because of being federal cases. Value of narcotics seized was $32,875, and year-to-date is $39,000. And I don't have a seizure amount on there, but that is something that we're going to put on there in the future. And as soon as we can report that, we will. When we're working narcotics, there's a lot of things we can't report because it's ongoing investigations, and we don't want to hinder anything down the road. And once everything's closed out, I will report more on that to you. Warrant Division, month of March, they served 121 warrants. There was 29 physical arrests on those warrants. They collected $150. Year-to-date, $468 warrants served, 141 physical arrests, and $520 warrant fees collected. Does anybody have any questions on the monthly report? All right. Some of you may have noticed that we had an incident on Grandview the other night, or actually early in the morning. The call come out after 11, and it was a family disturbance with a man with a gun. Officers arrived on the scene, and the wife that had called was on the porch, still on the phone. They got her and the children away from the house. The gentleman was very intoxicated, very belligerent, kept going in and out of the house. The special operations team and the negotiations team was called. The gentleman actually had some sort of relationship with one of the officers, Jacob Mills, and he had requested to speak with him, which Jacob Mills was actually working overtime at the hospital, and he responded out there and done a good job, not being a negotiator, but just done a great job visiting with him until the negotiators got there. After about 2 hours, the negotiator actually got the gentleman to come out. We got him out clear of the house. We could see his hands. Whiskey bottle in both hands. so that probably had a little bit to do with it too. Anyway, still wasn't for sure where the gun was at. We had given commands to get on the ground, and at that time he became belligerent again, and then at that point he was tased and also shot with less lethal rounds, beanbag rounds they call them, and then he was taken into custody without further incident. No one was injured, so that's a win right there, especially in that situation. The gun was actually found inside the house, inside the door, so there was a gun involved, but like I said, that ended well. And I know the news was down here wanting information about it, so I thought I'd bring that up to you. I wanted to highlight also one of our detectives. We have great criminal investigation division. Just to let you know some of the cases they worked. Teddy Schaefer does all our digital investigation, anything electronic, computers, cell phones, anything involved in that. He spends countless hours at a computer. He was actually investigating another crime when he ran across this video. And now I'm just going to read part of his affidavit. It says, during the course of a different investigation, we discovered a video involving concerns for the welfare of a child and other drug transactions involving methamphetamine, Xanax, acid, marijuana. The video showed a male and a female and an infant child sitting on a bed. It was recorded by an unknown fourth individual. Female who appeared to be smoking marijuana through a water bong had smoke trapped in the chamber, prepped for inhaling. The male wiggles the bowl, showing the infant how to release the pressure in the water bong, pulling the bowl out of the water bong stem. As the infant pulls the bowl out of the water bong stem as instructed, it's released the pressure and the female inhales the smoke in the chamber. As the infant goes to put the bowl back on the water bong, the female leans her head slightly toward the infant and blows the inhaled smoke into the infant's face. After the infant places the bowl back on the water bong, the male stands and looks at the infant and says, "That's a good baby." Anyway, a timeline was established. The location of the video was recorded, where the video was recorded was identified. All individuals were identified. The child was, at the time of the video, was between 11 months and a year old. Evidence was also discovered that the infant was subjected to this behavior multiple times, 12 to be exact. The mother was the female. She was arrested, charged with a Class C felony, and the male was charged with the same. Because it was discovered a year later, we could not put the endangered and welfare of a minor because of statute of limitations. It goes on to say, and I can't read it all because of some words, but where she's bragging about teaching her child how to smoke marijuana and how that it helps them to go to sleep. I would like to say this is just one case that our detective division works, but it's not. This is out there, and we're working hard to try to take care of these children that can't help themselves. We have another detective that all he works mainly is child molestation cases, and he can work 1 to 5 a month. This was discovered, like I said, by Detective Schaefer, who does a wonderful job on our digital evidence. He goes through thousands of pictures that would turn everybody's stomach in here. But anyway, these guys work hard, they do a good job, and I just wanted to highlight some of that where everybody would know. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chief Peretti. Now I'd like to back up and ask for approval of minutes from March 28th.
So moved.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Wade Phillips.
Couple quick updates. We're pretty well done with work down at Lake Harrison Park. And as soon as I get the final invoices in, I should have an accounting of the cost for you at the committee meeting, I hope. And then also, the mayor and I went down to Little Rock yesterday to have a meeting with some officials with Highway Department. looking at money that's currently programmed and the future different projects that may take place on 65. The current project that we have underway or working on right now with them, 43 Rock Springs and 65. That project's going to continue forward. They're running into some delays on utilities and stuff like that, but it'll still continue forward. One thing that has changed is that is no longer a partnering project. That's actually going to be a DOT project entirely. So the money that we had set aside previously is no longer going to be needed. So we'll be looking at some other roadway improvements that we can do on our own system going forward. And then also we're waiting on some written correspondence confirmation of the decisions that were made yesterday, but they're going to start spending some money on the 65 corridor through town. They're going to focus initially on the northern area where we have so much traffic back up to work on operational improvements. So once we get those letters back from the DOT, we'll distribute copies to you guys and give you a little bit more detailed update in the meeting so people can know what's going on. And other than that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. That's about all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Wade. Great news.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mark?
In front of you will be my report from the department. Bill kind of jinxed us last month. He had mentioned the out-of-city calls, and it had been, yes, he jinxed us. The out-of-city calls had been relatively low, and April hit, and we was just slammed. We worked numerous accidents out of the city with fatalities and injuries and extrication. We worked the double fatal at Bellefonte today out on 62 with the camper and the house trailer. That was a bad situation. And then the very next day we had to go to Smith Mountain Road in Jasper, South Jasper, and extricate one. 2 nights later, go to San Hall and extricate one. Then we've had two. You'll probably see in the news, fall off Hospital Craig. I don't know if some may or may not know that we have high-angle rescue guys that are trained very, very good at their job, and they go over and help the parks and all the people in Newton County do their, retrieving the bodies of the victims going on. Also extricated one over at Everton. This is all about 2 weeks, so it was a really crazy couple of weeks.
I'm not saying a word.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's, we did have one of our local citizens here in town in an accident up here at Ace the other day, and ended up being a fatal accident there. So it's been a pretty unfortunate couple of weeks of April for our area. So if you see these red trucks running up and down all sorts of the world, that's what they're doing. A lot of people ask why we respond to help. Well, we're here to help our citizens no matter who they are. And we've got the guys that are trained, and we're going to send them out to the help. One thing I do want to bring up is low water slabs. I know today we've had some high water, and we worked very diligent with police and public works trying to get these things closed as quickly as possible. So don't ever hesitate when you see one coming up to call one of the departments, and we'll get someone out there to close them. Don't need any more incidents than what we had to happen before. So we want to make sure we get them things closed off as quickly as possible. That's pretty much. ISO was here Tuesday this week. Spent several hours with him going over our rating, and now we wait. It'll be about 4 to 6 months, and we'll know what our rating is. So we'll see where we go from there. Other than that, is there any questions on our report that I've given you all? Thank you all.
Thank you, Chief. I think Luke Fikert is Mitch Magnus tonight. Is that correct, Mitch?
Generally, he's much taller and better looking than I am, but I'll try.
I'll make that motion.
Well, we're going to censor you anyway. It doesn't matter. The sales tax revenue pretty much is flat. That's the main thing that we were discussing.
It's about like 1.5%.
Right, it's not much of a change. Luke didn't really have an explanation as to why, but better than being off or short. And again, we still have the 183,000 that has affected us for the year, but other than that, there's not much in finance. The audit is pretty much complete, and he's waiting on results there.
Mhm.
That's pretty much,
Good. Thank you, Luke.
you bet.
David's not with us tonight. I believe I saw Chuck.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We talked at the commission meeting this month. We've had a lot of, some more vandalism and some more safety issues in the park. So, we had to board up the slide on the major piece of equipment we have, so we've looked into getting some prices and some bids on trying to update that equipment. Got it cleared to bid that out and maybe spend some money on updating that. I know the mayor's got a lot of pictures on Facebook, and we went out and inspected it, and it's not just that one part, it's kind of, it's dated. That piece of equipment's so old, the company that built that slide is out of business, and I think burned down like 5 or 6 years ago. We can't find the slide to match, so we're looking at replacing more of that piece of equipment. And some of the boards at the top have been knocked out, so we're gonna try to update that. Because that's a safety issue that I feel like needs to be addressed. So we're really looking hard into that. Good news, in the next couple weeks, I think next week we're gonna have 32 high school teams in town, and then the week after that, the second week of May, we're gonna have 64 high school teams in Harrison, playing soccer, baseball, and softball. That on that Thursday. So that's gonna be a huge deal for us, and we'll be very busy, but the town should do really well. And we've been lucky, this is our 3rd year in a row to be able to host that. So we're very excited about that, and very busy, and we love it. So, like I said, that's been a main concern. And on the light poles, I found a company that will come in, and we have to do a little bit of legwork. It's gonna be a $2,000 cost for them to come in and drill in through the ground into our poles, every one of our wood poles, and they will inspect every one of them and give us an update on our poles. And that will be, the reason I got the price down that low is because I gotta wait till he's in this area. So I told him it had to be before August, cause that's when we were definitely gonna replace 2. So he's gonna try to get here before then, but it'll cost us about $2,000 to have every one. I thought that was a very good deal to get somebody to tell us exactly what we need to do on those light poles after that incident in Clarksville. So, like I said, we wanted to be proactive. Our next inspection wasn't until next year, but we're gonna go ahead and do it now. So, any other questions about parks? Thank you.
No, I think that's it, Chuck. Sean's is not with us tonight. I think you're here for the appointment, Rebecca. Is that? No, Rebecca, I don't think this is your part. We're calling on Sean to, are you here for any other reason than the appointment? Okay. Then you can relax a little while.
I won't jinx you, I promise.
Yeah, he don't get to talk.
Okay, committee reports. Joel,
I don't have a thing.
don't have a thing tonight. Okay, Mitch.
Okay, we have 2 items. The first one, the initial mold assessment, is going to be tabled after discussions with the mayor and Luke. The next one is the Community Risk Reduction Division. Again, to remind you from the committee, all we're doing is establishing another division within the fire department so that we can consolidate both the building inspection and fire inspection activities. And the plan is pretty much to establish this, and then after a certain point, we will begin to migrate some of the costs out of the budget from that from other departments into this one to cover the expense. So I would make a motion to create the Community Risk Reduction Division within the fire department.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
When does this become effective?
Becomes effective immediately after this vote, and then, like I say, Luke and Wade and Mark will all get together and figure out when we're gonna move expenses. I assume, Wade, that will happen primarily after our inspector leaves?
Correct, yeah. July 1st will be sort of, I guess, the kickoff date for the new division. The individual that will be filling the position that was once Jeremy's will be starting training and doing all of that pretty much as soon as they're on board. But as far as the department existing, that'll be right at that cutoff date when Jeremy retires and we transfer everything.
And to kind of add to that, there will be, because I've got to get someone doing this immediately, and so there will be some additional overtime and stuff, because I've got to pull them off shift and send them off to school literally next week. So we're gonna be transitioning over for a couple of months, so there'll be some added expense there, but overall, it's,
Are there any comments from the audience on this matter? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion passed.
That's all, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Linda DeWald,
I have nothing. I'm working on some stuff, but
good, I know you are, you've been very busy. Mary Jean Krager.
My chiefs have already reported, but I would like to mention that Jim's retirement party will be tomorrow night from 6 to 8 at the Urban Market, and all are welcome to come. And all he wants is cards, thank God. Got out the gift.
Okay, Mary Jean, thank you. Mr. Boswell.
Only thing I have, we've been through a couple of meetings. One really wasn't a meeting per se, but was a presentation by Game and Fish. And then we talked about it in committee. We're at the point where now we need to give some guidance and instruction to the Game and Fish as to what our game plan is. I think coming out of committee that it was consensus by us as committee members that we're ready to let Game and Fish design a plan for Crooked Creek. And so with that in mind, they need our basically a green light to start. And with that, I would make a recommendation that we allow the Game and Fish Commission to begin the design of a plan. We're a long ways from, before anybody gets carried away, we're a long ways from anything happening.
Oh, absolutely.
But we need a design plan where we can actually physically see what's going to change where Lake Harrison sits. So I would make that recommendation that we allow the Game and Fish
Is
Commission.
this in form of a motion?
Yes, sir.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? We've got Wade here if he needs to be.
I will say there is public interest in this, more so than I thought there would be.
There is.
And I think it will be good once we get this plan together to make sure that it's out in the public. So
We will need to have more public meetings so that they will be aware,
right.
and me too.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Passes again. Okay.
That's all I have.
Is that all you have?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Head.
If not, we have, we're looking at reinstating the business license, and the fire department will administrate that. And so I just, is there any discussion? Wondering if maybe we had any. Just go ahead, okay. All right, I make a motion that we read the ordinance by title only.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second.
And it's the first of 3 readings. to
Correct.
make that
Be the
motion.
first of three. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Do we-
Would you read it?
An ordinance repealing and replacing ordinance 1337 of the City Code of Harrison, Arkansas regarding the city business license.
Okay.
Do we need roll call on this? Since it's an ordinance.
Jeff, we're talking to you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can.
You're the expert.
Okay.
Bill Boswell.
Aye. Yes. Present.
Steve Kirkpatrick.
Yes.
Joe Williams.
Yes.
Wayne Combs.
Yes.
Chris Head.
Yes.
Mary Jean Krieger.
Yes.
Mitch Magnus.
Yes.
Linda DeWalt.
yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. We're moving along pretty good tonight.
Jesus.
Motion passed. Let's go right down to new business. And we have two commission members that need to be approved for the CVB. We've learned a couple things over this last week in regards to commissions. And one of the things is, I think we'll share with Matt later, he doesn't know, but we have 2 recommendations of Annette Madison to do another term, and Rodney Arnold will be replacing Shannon Snow on the CVB committee. I approve both of these, and I'd recommend that we approve them as well.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion, Joel second. Any discussion? We do need to do them one at a time. Let's do Tonette Madison.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Dr. Arnold.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion on Rodney? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, anyone opposed? We got those. Let's move down to the Housing Authority, and this is where Shonda or Rebecca tonight. You're up.
Are you sure? I'm
Busted.
old, I can only stand up, so I'll just stand here. Okay, all the other good commissioners are out of town conveniently, which left me in town, so it's the bottom rung tonight, so. Anyway, we, as a board, accepted the resignation of Karen DeZort because she is a quitter chicken dinner. Effective May 1st. Did you try to bite me? And in turn, we appointed Rebecca Harrison, who, some of you may know her. She's she worked for Porterfield. She's a certified public accountant and a fraud investigator, tax investigator. She has a big, long resume that's really awesome. But she's been working with the Housing Authority too, and understands our reporting process and stuff to the federal government, state of Arkansas. So we voted to appoint her to fill Karen's position because, I'll reiterate, Karen quit us. And she will serve on that position until September 1st, 2022.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second.
What was the date again?
Effective May 1st, serving through 9/1
All in favor of the second Rebecca?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And by the way, we appreciate you coming. According to the ordinance, it's not required that we approve your people, but
Right.
out of courtey, that's nice.
on this very,
Yeah.
as you know. She's very awesome. I just want everybody to know, as a commissioner, she's probably one of the top executive directors in the state, and they're recognizing her on federal level at this point too, because of her training and
They have-
contacts and.
all kinds of federal housing authorities that would love to have her running their business.
We're honored to have her.
You are.
Well, thank you all, and Rebecca, thank you, and
You're welcome.
Karen,
Yes, sir.
Quitter.
thank you for your service in the past,
Yeah.
no matter what
You're
Rebecca
welcome.
says.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you,
We
Karen.
appreciate that.
You can't take her away.
She'll quit someday too.
I want to mention a few things tonight. We are in the middle of spring cleanup, and our first ward is happening starting Monday. That's going to be Ward 3. And we decided Ward 3 because it might need the most.
It's the jump, yeah.
It's the jump. You get that? Oh.
That's where I'm at with it.
They're big.
That's right. Yeah.
Something Orion is going to do
I'll contribute to the cause.
this time. Is your dog with you tonight?
Yes, sir.
Something they're going to do, I think is a good idea. It was their idea, and they wanted to put a roll-off up in the neighborhood to allow people that had even more than they wanted to put on the curb to kind of take it to the roll-off. So for 1 week, each ward, at least 3 and 4 are going to have roll-offs. And
What
that
will
might,
those locations be?
in Ward 3, it's at
The Lutheran Church,
the Lutheran Church, used to be Woodland.
formerly known as Wood.
I don't know.
And in Ward 4, we assume it's going to be Eagle Heights. We've requested that, and I'm sure that's going to be fine. So we're gonna see how that goes. Kind of along those same lines, your Public Works Department has been working extra hard this last 5 months on cleaning up yards that need to be cleaned up. Ralph Jones has served a lot of letters. I have a good friend who called me today and he said he got a letter. I said, well, I think you needed one, but, you know. And I think my opinion, I've been with Ralph a lot and we go out together. We actually have Clint from the fire department come with us. And it's really been an education, folks, when you go out and look at some of the yards that really need to be cleaned up. As you recall, we had I ranked them 1 through 10, 10 being the tear downs, 8 and 9 being the really bad yards. And that's what we're trying to address right now. It's my belief that we cannot allow these yards to have such a negative effect on their neighbors and the whole neighborhood. And I believe that. Until I'm told different or convinced different, we're gonna ramp this up. So I hope it's okay with everybody, but if it's not, I apologize and we'll do it anyway.
Do you think that we need to be checking if a yard that is normally well-maintained all of a sudden isn't, that we should go and check and see if these people need help?
Yeah. Would you do that for us?
Oh, sure, Jerry. No.
No, yeah, I see what you're saying, Mary Jean, and I think if you or anybody sees anything that pops up, yeah, let us know.
Well, and I really think it wouldn't hurt us to stop and say, do you need help? If it's in your ward, if it's somebody,
Who do you mean when you say us? Or you mean me or Jeff or
anybody
anybody?
that's involved
Grant?
in this, on the city council, because if normally a yard is well-maintained and all of a sudden it isn't.
You know, that's exactly right. We've got 2 people for each ward.
Well, can I take it a little,
Yes.
just a step further, and I'm asking about this. In the military, we called it health and welfare inspections. And Mary Jean's right, all of a sudden the yard's been taken care of and well done, and just everything stops. We don't know if, you know, maybe this person is a single person, elderly, has died. Chris, does the police department do a health and welfare check if they're called and asked to go check on somebody?
Yes.
I mean, and I'm not trying to throw anything extra.
Right,
I
oh
mean-
no, if somebody calls and say, hey, you know, we've not heard from somebody, we're concerned, would y'all go check on them? And we try to do that. I mean, we will do that. Sometimes, you know, we have problems with the doors being locked, stuff like that, and we have to figure out what we have as best we can.
But I mean, there was an instance that happened, I think it was maybe Mountain Home, and Mitch Mason, he works over there, but the yard continued to grow and growed, and nobody noticed, and they went and checked, and that elderly gentleman that lived in the house that had always taken care of it had died. He was still in the house. And that's, you know, that's kind of, we all know, I mean, our neighbors, and I have a few within stone's throw that, you know, that's another subject, won't go there. But I know the ones that take care of the yards and that kind of thing, and in my ward as well, I know the ones that take care of the yards, and all of a sudden they stop. And sometimes they just get behind, or they're gone on vacation, or work's taken them out. You know, that's not a problem that can be easily fixed, but it's those that, maybe they've got a underlying problem we're not aware of. And we need some help from somebody that's got some authority to go check on police or I'm just throwing it out. I'm not saying that's what you gotta do. I'm just,
Yeah.
do we have a policy, a plan, anything like that in place?
No, right now we're working on the 8s and 9s. And really, last week we hit about, in the last 2 weeks we hit 10 8s and 9s. And we knock on the doors and talk to them and serve them papers, or they've already received papers. And out of that 10, it was interesting, 5 apologized greatly and said they would take care of them. They were so sorry. 3 said they would do it, but probably didn't want to, and 2 were pretty ugly. So that's not bad. We can live with that.
That's not bad.
But at the same time, you folks in your wards, I think when you see what I'm referring to is an 8 or a 9, you might let us know, and we can send Ralph out. We'll clean it up. It's, Ralph's starting to, I'm sure he always has, but he's doing a good job at this, and he and Clint, Clint doesn't have a lot of gray area. It's all black and white with him. Sometimes that's good.
Because he colored his hair.
But I think we're gonna make a difference. I hope we're gonna make a difference. This was one of my 20 that we wanted to have something accomplished by the end of June. And if we don't, wow, not gonna look good on me or all of us. So,
Oh, we'll give you credit.
well, I know, we don't want credit. We want to get it done. So, the audience, do we have any comments tonight from the audience? Sir, you want to
Just
come on
a
up
note.
here?
I
Yeah,
think everybody
please.
should probably hear me. But just to note that my wife was reading me the news piece about the neighborhood cleanups.
Yeah.
And it referred to Ward 3 and others in a very pejorative way. If I lived there, I would be a little bit offended in the way that was cast. So whoever is responsible for constructing that information for the paper, we might want to choose our words a little more selectively.
What are you referring to
They said this neighborhood, Ward 3 in particular, was the worst.
Was the worst. And
Yeah.
Where did you
Worst
find that,
neighborhood.
John?
It was in the Harrison Daily Times.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know
Jeff?
who represents that, but I just think it's a pejorative way to refer to an entire neighborhood. It doesn't.
Oh, I agree totally.
I agree.
It can't be done that way. I know our pastor can be
We
excused.
can joke
one
about that
time.
here, but in print, that's.
Yeah, that's just not nice.
Well, let's, Christine, we'll find out tomorrow kind of where that came from. We agree completely.
You're right.
Thanks for bringing that to our attention. Okay. Fred, you have anything tonight? Thank you for being here. You and Glenn both.
I'm impressed. You've done good.
Well, I hate to clean up the county.
All except Councilman Boswell. But what can I say?
The last thing I want to say tonight is, we mentioned earlier, we're not performing the mold test at the Duran Center. And the reason is, we had a development. And us moving to the Duran Center is on hold. We'll know more, hopefully in a few weeks. It's very disappointing for all of us that house here. I know when you all come in, you see the best of this. It's not what you see. So hopefully we can, but it's my commitment, if we don't proceed with the Duran Center, that we will work on relocating somewhere else. Anything else?
I want one more question, on Orion and our stickers for our
Yeah.
garbage,
Yeah.
how's that coming along? I thought we would have them by now.
And that's exactly why we didn't put that plan together. You know, you and I talked, you wanted to volunteer to help, and thank you for that. But I said, let's wait till we have those stickers sitting in front of us.
Yeah, where are they?
I don't know. It's an Orion issue. They're supposed to have been here, but
Have they offered any reason?
no, we have not.
Should we call, or even call, or?
No, I think, yeah, next week, I think we'll contact them. Hey, let's contact them.
FaceTime.
Yeah, speakerphone.
Speakerphone?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Let's give it a try, folks.
No.
Maybe another time, dear.
Okay, I'll take it off the speaker. We'll negotiate that deal. Hi, Brad. Now he's not answering. That's kind of the way it goes.
You don't recognize the number.
He's screening you.
That's recognized the number, that's fine.
He's screening his calls.
I'm sure he'll be calling me back tonight and we'll ask him, but it would have been interesting for us to have an answer right now. But we'll follow up on that, Linda.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to that, but again, I didn't want to proceed with the plan until we had the stickers.
Okay. What was that I asked?
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?